welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, where Terry and I are here with another player review for this season. This shows on last season's player of the season, our left back, Luca Digne. Terry, what have you made of Luca Digne's second season at Everton? It was always going to be difficult to live up to the standards of performance that we come to expect from him last year. How do you think he's done?
I think he's done well. I mean, I know a common consensus is that he's not done as well as last season. He's dipped a little bit, but I don't particularly think that's true. I think he's been as effective and as crucial to the team this season as he has last. I just think the thing with last season was he was a brand new player. It was it was so fresh to the team, and this year I think he's been if not as good, close to being as good as he was. It's just now you're a little bit more used to him, and he's still one of the key elements of the team. But most of our best attack and play comes from his overlaps on the left hand side. I know his numbers won't be as good for assists and goals, but I think his chance creation and his forward passing and all that would I would hazard. I put a lot of money on it being the same or similar numbers because he's so crucial to the team. I think he's one of our top three most important players because everything that happens down the left hand side comes from him. His crossing, his free kicks from that angle, from a left footed free kick taker, everything from that sort of dimension of the team is Luca Digne's territory. And I've got to say, I think he's done well this season. He's just not got the hype of last season because now he's a little bit more settled in and he's part of the furniture at the club.
So I've heard from a lot of fans that they think his performances have tailed off, but you don't agree with that now?
No, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as say like he's been, fantastic, brilliant, been better than last season or anything like that. But I don't think there's been as much of a drop off as a lot of people would suggest. I think he's may have, dipped a little bit when the team has dipped, possibly. Like I don't think it's anything to do with him specifically, but I do still think he's performing to a high level. We're just now a little bit more accustomed to it, and I definitely think he's one of the most crucial players in the whole squad. But yeah, I just don't. No, I don't. To answer your question more succinctly, I don't think he's tipped off as much as people say.
I think that's a really good point to make because it is easier, and we know as Everton fans, we know what we're like sometimes. We can't wait to bash players sometimes, but I think Luca Digne's a real fan's favourite, isn't he? I think he's one of the ones, like you say, he is one of the best players in the squad. And at a time where we seem to be needing to strengthen a lot of the first team positions, he's certainly not one of them.
No, definitely not. I mean, he had one of the hardest jobs at the club when he came in. He come from Barcelona and he was going to replace Leighton Baines and like another fan favourite, a long-term fan favourite, local lad. The best left back, I think, in Premier League history, including Ashley Cole. And Digne came in and he stood up to that. And I think he's had times where he's tipped off a little bit, but not for a consistent long stretch of performances. I think any bad performances for Digne have been one-offs and they've been very few and far between. I just think his attack and play especially is just so vital to the team. Everything down that left-hand side is just central. It's centred on him.
And he's continued to have an impact. I can recall on a number of occasions a few assists that he's chipped in with. I mean, I know there have been a few downsides this season. Obviously, I think everyone remembers like the own goal against Brighton and stuff like that, don't they? So I'm not sure whether that might skew opinion a little bit. I mean, it's unsurprising if it does. But I can remember his cross for Richarlison against Wolves and, little bits of skill that, things that only he could produce, if you'd ask me, from those kind of areas of the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, the own goal's not his fault. He's attacking the ball to try and clear it after the breakaway. He's just really unlucky there. But I don't know. I mean, Luca Digne, I think, is a big part of the club's future. I think he loves the club. I think he loves the Everton supporters, and I think he's one of these, what I'd call the pillars of the team, where you've got to get them. I mean, in some instances, it'd be locked down on a big long contract, or if it's not necessary, just build around them, buy players that suit and accommodate them. to bring out the best in their game because they're so important. Richarlison would be another one. Digne and Richarlison, I think, are two players who are so crucial to the club and are just stand head and shoulders above the rest of the squad. And I know people might think that's a little bit too much for a player like Digne. I don't think anyone would argue with Richarlison, but for me, Luca Digne's in that bracket with Richarlison. He is that important.
Well, I think, like you said before, Richarlison's the one who gets you the goals, but he's getting a lot of it through the service from Luca Digne.
I just think we need to when it comes to the transfer window, that'll be the main, I think, focus will be someone who can, in an attacking sense at least, that be someone who can lighten the load. I don't think goal scorers will be the main thing. It'll be goal creators because we've got two players at the minute who score most of the goals, which is Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Prior to that, it was Richarlison and Sigurdsson. There's always been two goal scorers, and never just relying on one, like back in the Lukaku days. But goal creators, it's pretty much all Luca Digne. You get the odd one, chip in assist with, from other players here and there, but it's consistently Luca Digne for chance creation.
Certainly, and I think that's the one concern we will have, and we'll move on to those players later down the line when we do a few other player reviews, but we do need to see more contributions from other areas to maybe take the load off Luca Digne, like you say.
I think so. I mean, he's got Leighton Baines as understudy, and I don't think he can ask for anyone better than that. Experienced, similar, profile of player in terms of ability. Going forwards, can produce with his left foot, just a little bit older and not as quick anymore. So he's got his position in the team is pretty solid. Luca Digne, he's not going to be. He knows that he's got to keep his performances to a high level because there's a quality player underneath him. But he also knows that it's an older player, so he's not, going to get, shifted out the club at any time soon because he's seen as the main man. But yeah, I love Luca Digne. He's one of my absolute favourite players. I hope we see him for many years more.
Well, certainly, I think we can all agree with that. I think the impact he's had on the club in the year and 2/3, 3/4 so far are we through this sort of season, whatever you want to call a season.
Close enough. I mean, we're doing the reviews now because the season, in the traditional sense, is over. We're just going to review the mini season separately.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like just an excuse to talk about Everton more. So why the hell not? But yeah. So Luca Digne, like obviously a year and 3/4, he's made a massive impact since he came in, hasn't he? So yeah. As far as at the time, 20 million is not a lot. I mean, that might change when lockdown's over, but at that time, 20 million was a snap for a player like Luca Digne, and see the quality that he brought in. We've definitely got a good return on that investment, and like you say, I can't see many fans turning the nose up at him. It takes a pretty pessimistic, and I know there's a few of them, but it takes someone pretty pessimistic to not want Luca Digne to stick around for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. The only thing I'd change about him is I'd get him off number 12. It's a terrible squad number. Get him a better squad number. I don't care what it is, just 12's awful.
Let's give him the number 9.
Oh no, still a defensive number. Still a defensive number or a teen number. Like I don't know what's available, but just not 12. 12's a reserve goalkeeper's number. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but last time we gave someone called Dean the number 9, he scored 60 goals. So.
Yeah, well. That was all you mentioned that for, wasn't it?
No, I didn't even think about that until it just come into my head, and I thought, oh dear, I get on that.
What he's called, he's the new Dixie, isn't he?
Yeah, I just realised that's my mate's fantasy football team is Dixie Dean. Well, of course. Right, before we finish up on the Luca Digne segment, we usually go for our score out of 10. What would you go with, Terry?
Go for 7.5 out of 10. Solid. I don't like 2.5s, but I just think 8 would be too much and 7 would be too low, so 7.5. Solid, consistent, decent performer. If the lockdown hadn't have happened, it may have been higher because although the last game was terrible from everyone all round, the team had started to really show massive improvements under Ancelotti.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'll probably go with a 7. I think that's what I've saw. I haven't seen maybe the level of last season, in my opinion, but definitely solid at worst for him, Luca Digne, and I think that's what a 7 would reflect. So I want to go with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there you have it, guys. Gone for a 7 and a 7.5 between the two of us. But let us know what you think, how you think Luca Digne's got on this season. If you're watching on YouTube, drop us a comment on the video. Give us your opinions and what we can expect from Luca Digne in the near future. Give us a like and a subscribe as well. And of course, thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.